and welcome to Jexperts. I have with me now Izchak Barzilay. Izchak.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My pleasure. It's great to have you here on the Jexperts set, downtown Toronto. We're live here at Bay and Dundas. It's great to see you. So we're talking prosthodontics.
That's correct.
Correct? Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So, and I'm thinking here, so you're not a dentist.
No, I am a dentist.
You're not a dentist. Well, you're a dentist first.
That's correct.
Then you specialize and become a prosthodontist.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I got to ask you something right off the bat here, and this is really, completely, off topic here.
Yes.
But then again, my whole career has been basically off-topic material, and somehow I'm still here. So I need to tell the story. It's a modern-day miracle.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I can see the intrigue in your eyes. There, you're wondering where is he going with this, and quite frankly, I don't even know where I'm going with it.
I know we're going to get somewhere.
Okay, good. I'm glad one of us does. So what's the deal? What's the deal with the suicide rate in dentistry? I'm pretty sure you guys still got the highest suicide rate.
Well, it really depends on what article you read. In fact, a lot of people used to say that, but you know what? I don't think it's true. I think anesthesiologists have it.
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Which article are you reading?
I'm reading the Swedish articles.
The Swedish articles?
That's right.
I'm reading the Toronto Sun.
Well,
what can possibly compete with the Toronto Sun?
I don't know. They don't have a real good reference system. So if you read some of the articles, the different professions have different suicide rates. I think the anesthesiologists
Are you reading the Swedish Sun?
I'm not reading the Swedish Sun.
So you're reading the periodicals? What are we talking about?
I'm talking about the dental journals.
The dental journals?
Yeah, the dental journals, yeah.
Okay, and so they say that the anesthesiologists have you guys beat.
Well, I think
by maybe 0.5%.
Well, it may be.
Well, let's just talk in general before we get on to your, what is prosthodontics.
Yes.
Why though? Why this field? I'm always curious about, seriously, what it is about this field that can become so mind-numbing and so depressing for a lot of people.
Well, I think dentistry in general, the way it developed was a very lonely field. I mean, dentists were doing procedures people didn't enjoy. People didn't particularly like to come to the dentist.
Right.
And they came to the dentist to be worked on, for the dentist to inflict pain on occasion, and then they had to pay for it. So it hurt in two places. So, maybe that sort of set things up many years ago for dentists having a hard time.
Having a major guilt complex.
And maybe not knowing what to do with it. But I have to tell you that that's just not the case anymore. We're a totally different profession. We really are.
Yeah, you're not guys jumping off buildings anymore. Good to know, Izchak. Good to know. So that's the segue I'm looking for. So let's talk prosthodontics.
Okay.
What is a prosthodontist? Because this is something I think you'll agree the layman would probably not understand and comprehend.
Yeah. Well, Eden, a prosthodontist is a dental specialist.
Right.
And what we deal with are patients who are missing teeth or missing jaw structures. Okay. So the word prosthodontist, if you break it down, really breaks down into replacing of missing structures. That's what it gets broken down into. And a prosthodontist starts off as a dentist and then goes off to do additional years of schooling. And what we specialize in is the replacement of teeth, replacement of bone structures, replacement of teeth with either implant-based restorations or crown-based restorations or denture-based restorations. So we do all those kinds of procedures, and if you think about those procedures, they are prosthetic in nature. Consequently, the word prosthodontist.
Right. So why are you a specialized industry? In the true sense of being specialized, why can't a dentist? And some dentists do.
Yes, they do.
They do this.
Yes, they do.
But they don't do it at the zenith of the quality meter. Am I right?
That is correct. We do teach prosthodontics in dental school. So all dentists who leave dental school have a knowledge of prosthodontics.
Okay.
In fact, they have to do certain procedures before they leave dental school. But they do it at a particular level, which is generally reasonable. But there are more difficult kinds of situations.
Procedures such as?
Patients who are involved in motor vehicle accidents, patients who have worn all their teeth down to a point where they don't really have a bite anymore, patients who have lost teeth in vital areas where we have to deal not just with function but with aesthetics and the general look of things. So these are situations that maybe is not always conducive to having a generalist do. And for that reason, we have specialists.
Okay, okay, very good. You know, I guess I'm now interested in how is dentistry different than medicine?
Well, you know, medicine, you have your doctor, you have your main provider that you go to whenever you have a problem, and that provider goes ahead and refers you out to other medical specialists. The medical specialists have been to school for extra years, and they do their specialties, and they pretty much limit themselves to their specialties. You're not going to have a medical doctor, a general practitioner, or a family practitioner do open heart surgery on you. That's just not going to happen. They won't allow it, although they are probably licensed to do it, it just doesn't happen. Dentistry is different because we do teach all forms of dentistry in dental school. A dental license allows us to perform all the procedures that we've been taught. So a general dentist can perform pretty much everything. In dentistry, many dentists today do that. And there are times, though, that you really do need to be seen by a specialist. And if I ask myself, who would I want to be seen by? Why not be seen by a specialist? It just makes sense for certain procedures.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yes.
The average dentist, what is the likelihood that they're going to be working with a prosthodontist like you, or that they're going to be quick to make the referral? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, again, it depends on who the dentist is and how comfortable they feel.
Do you work with dentists?
Yes, we do. We get most of our referrals from dentists.
Right. And do you have a circle, a network of, or do you never know who the phone's going to ring?
You never know. You never know. You never know.
It's all reputation based, I would imagine.
It is. It is. We, in our practice, we are a large group practice, and we have an educational component to our practice where we teach dentists what we do. And we work with them on maybe the more difficult cases, and they do the simpler cases.
Okay, so what's the most difficult case that you've encountered? Like, I mean, I'm sure you're talking about car accidents, and I mean, you know, sometimes that's pretty horrific stuff.
Car accidents are very difficult because it's not just a loss of teeth, it's a loss of gum structure many times. It's a loss of bone structure, and we have to replace all that. So as prosthodontists, we work as I like to call us contractors. And then we work with subcontractors who are the other specialists. Because really, it's our vision.
It's starting to seem like the Mike Holmes show.
Well, a little bit. We're both the same size, but he looks at things differently.
Isaac, you might be the same size, but he does not have your sense of humor. And by the way, from what I understand, he doesn't have your bank account either. That's another story for another time. Canadian television doesn't pay very well. That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. So you got somebody from a car accident, but I'm wondering about when I go to the dentist, Isaac, my hygienist and my dentist pretty much are like amateur psychologists. Is that kind of the case with you too? Because you end up hearing a lot of stuff, or how do you balance the human side with the actual technical side? Do you know what I'm saying?
We spend a lot of time with our patients. Our first appointment is scheduled for an hour, and we just talk to our patients. We just want to know who they are, what they're expecting, and we like to know if we can deliver it on the human level.
Like
technically,
a consultation.
That's right. So we start off with a consultation. We do our records because we need to collect information. But it's really important to us to understand what our patients want. Technically, we can do just about anything that we need to do. But we need to be sure that we can satisfy our patients in a way that they are happy with what we've done. So we do spend a lot of time
talking. So is there ever a situation
talking.
where somebody comes in and you say, you know what, guys, you know, Mrs. Fetterman, I can't deliver this. I can't deliver this. I just can't. We're at the whim of modern science here. Is there ever a situation like that?
Occasionally.
But not very often.
Not very often, but occasionally patients have expectations that are just very high, and we cannot meet those expectations.
For example, how high could they be?
Well, patients who want to keep their teeth, but it's just not possible.
Because of bone structure?
It could be bone structure, could be gum structure, could be tooth structure. They haven't maintained them.
And there's just no way of rebuilding the...
Many times there is, but there are some times where we just can't do it.
It's just irreconcilable.
And we remove the teeth and we replace them with implants.
Okay, well that brings us to the idea of implants. You know, what is a dental implant for those who don't know?
Well, a dental implant...
In layman's terms, and in technical terms, and you could probably do both.
Okay, sure. So if let's say you're missing a tooth.
Right.
Okay, so you're missing the crown of the tooth, which is the part that you see.
Right.
And you're missing the root of the tooth, which is up inside the gums and inside the bone.
Right.
You're missing the whole structure. So you come to me and you say, I want to replace that structure. And I say, well, maybe the best way to do it is with an implant. What is the implant? The implant is a man-made root. It is the part that goes into the jawbone and fuses with the jawbone. It then gives me a platform to put a crown on, which then looks like your original tooth. And that's effectively what an implant is. So we are replacing the whole structure. We're replacing the root with the implant, and then on top of that implant go a series of crowns, which replace the crowns that you may be missing. That's an implant. It's very simple. Takes some time, but
when
it's
you put it
simple.
that way, it sounds pretty simple. But I'm wondering, how much consideration do you guys give to the idea of the bite in terms of, you know, preparing for a procedure?
Sure.
Because, you know, it's all about, correct me if I'm wrong, but in dentistry and prosthodontics, it's all about, you know, and in, you know, selling burgers and French fries, it's all about the bite.
Sure.
Right? Maintaining the structure of the bite. People are very concerned about that when they walk into your office.
I think we should always be concerned about the bite, because the bite is what put forces on our teeth.
Right.
It's what put forces on everything that we do, and it's because of the bite that things break down. So it's really important that we take the bite into consideration in every single situation that we deal with, whether it's an implant, whether it's a crown, whether it's a denture. The bite will either help it to be maintained or it will destroy it. So we actually spend a lot of time working on the bite and making sure that it is in harmony with the other teeth, with the other muscles, with the joints, with everything else that the bite encompasses. We spend a lot of time with the bite.
So how do you know, Isaac, that the materials you're using, the various materials, which are what? Do you have a...
Well, we work with metals, with ceramics, with plastics, with
no
acrylics.
more mercury anymore.
No, not really.
Yeah,
There's very little of that.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, I was the victim of much too much mercury.
Is that what happened to you?
And
really?
And unfortunately, you're the unwitting recipient today.
Now I understand your sense of humor.
You understand my sense of humor and many other things.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, like, how do you know the materials are compatible with the individual?
Well, you know, as a prosthodontist, when I went to school to become a prosthodontist, and again, it's additional schooling beyond the regular 4 years of dental school. It's an additional 3 years, plus more depending on what you do. We are taught about the different materials, and in fact we are taught to not just use them, but to manipulate them and create them. So we know which materials will work under different situations. So we can actually choose maybe a zirconia product for a particular application.
But I'm thinking about allergies and stuff like that. Is there, or that's not an issue?
Well, there are allergies.
But very rarely?
Allergies is a rare thing. There are people who are allergic to nickel-based products, and we use very few nickel-based products in our practices. There are people who are sensitive to amalgam, to the mercury-based amalgams, and again, today very little amalgam is being used. But the other products that we use, there are rarely people who are allergic to them. We work with allergists to test that, but it's been a long time that I haven't really seen people with allergies to the particular materials we use. But we choose materials really based on the function we want them to have.
Okay. Well, I have a kind of like a little bit of a neurotic question here for you, and
All
we're
right.
both two Jews, but you're not the neurotic Jew.
No.
You didn't get the neurotic gene.
No, I didn't get all the amalgams either.
You didn't get all the amalgams.
That's right. Go ahead, Eden.
But
Go
thank
for
God, right? The neurotic gene is out of your gene pool.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. So it's sitting prominently right here.
Okay, go for it.
So I got a mercury cavity that they must have been about 15, 17 years ago, and I'm always concerned. Seriously, I'm always concerned that the mercury is going into my system. But one mercury cavity, and I bet you, what, all kidding aside, I bet you there's people out there that might be worried about a similar thing, about some bit of leakage, or a bit,
I'll be honest with you. I think
that small amount.
I think that's your neuroses more than anything else.
So
listen, everything leaks, everything wears down, everything pollutes our systems, and the amount of mercury that you're going to get from a single amalgam-based filling that you happen to have in your mouth is it's so little. Just stop eating tuna and I think you'll be fine.
That's the other thing, Isaac, is that I'm having like 3 or 4 cans of tuna.
Well, let's not go there, okay?
I'm thinking between the cavity and the tuna, I'm thinking it's taking away my performance ability, and it's.
Well, you need to go to some other kind of fish.
Do you have a psychiatrist you could refer me to?
I actually do.
Like dentists refer people to you.
Yes.
Now the chain should keep going. Now who do you refer to?
Well, I've got several psychiatrists who love dealing with dental patients because they tend not to be neurotic, but you're doing really well.
So you think I'm a prime?
Eden, I think you're pretty good.
I think I'm a prime candidate to come into your office.
You know what? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Do you need an implant or something? We can deal with that.
So Isaac, do you continue to see a prosthodontist after the work is done? Because I'm wondering about the follow-up.
Yes. Well, we're called on to do different types of work. Mm-hmm. If we restore a patient's full mouth, let's say they've worn all their teeth down, we've given them crowns on everything to rebuild their bite, we generally see them at that point like a general dentist would see you.
Right.
Every 6 months, we do cleanings for our patients, we maintain them. If, however, you are sent to me for one single thing, let's say a single implant, I will see you on a regular basis, but only to maintain that single prosthesis. That's all I do. You still see your general dentist, you still have your hygiene sessions with your hygienist, but you do come back to me occasionally for me to check what I've done and to adjust it when needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm wondering as I'm sitting here is that as a specialist, how many years have you been doing this now, by the way?
Oh boy, I've been doing this for 30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take you back in time now. See how good your memory is.
Okay.
Hope you don't have any mercury floating around your system.
No, I'm pretty good.
I hear it affects the memory pretty good. 30 years ago.
Yes.
Fresh out of dental. We'll call it dental school.
Okay.
You're excited, obviously. Yes. Man, did that, that dissipates pretty quickly, right?
Of course.
You're excited about your new career, how are you going to build your practice? And I'm thinking for a specialist, it's probably a lot easier than a dentist, but then again, in the infancy of any career, it's not easy. So I'm wondering personally, from a marketing standpoint, like how one goes about building a practice, how one goes about building a prosthodontics practice.
Well, prosthodontics, because we do many of the same things that general dentists do, it is tougher to build.
I'm wondering how you built your empire. That's what I'm trying to say.
I built my empire by surrounding myself with really good people.
Yeah. I saw your assistant, and she seems very, very nice. And you have a team there?
We have a large team. We have over 30 people in our practice.
Wow.
All doing different things. We have assistants, we have hygienists, we have administrative staff, we have a full lab on site in our practice. So everything that we put in someone's mouth, we've made. We don't work with commercial labs.
So how has your practice changed, transitioned, grown, evolved from 30 years ago to today? I know that's a very, very kind of open-ended question, but I think it's a fair question.
Yeah. 30 years ago, almost all prosthodontists were lone practitioners. We practiced by ourselves.
Lone wolves.
Lone wolves. And we would work with one maybe front desk person,
I
one
heard you guys
assistant.
would work in like dark caves under candlelight.
Well, we try not to.
occasion.
We try not to do that. It's only when the power fails.
No,
That's
in
what
the
we
beginning.
do.
In the beginning.
In the very beginning,
very beginning.
maybe so, but not 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we still had power.
You had power then?
We had power, yeah.
Okay, wow.
I practiced on Bay Street. There was power.
Bay Street.
Just down
That's
the
where
street.
we are now.
Just down
Where,
the
like
street.
North or south?
No, I was just north of here, up at Girard, Bay and Girard.
Girard and
Yeah,
Bay.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to tell you just a secret.
Yes.
Off the record.
Yes.
The neighborhood's changed.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's changed.
Yeah, I see a lot of buildings around.
Yeah, there's buildings, and there's also women of the day, women of the night, women of the afternoon.
How would you know that?
And
How would you know that, Eden?
you know what? I read the magazines and the newspapers.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, now I'm really blushing. Look how red I'm turning. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Give me a, can you fan me? Fan me,
There you go.
fan me, Isaac, fan me. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Go to a commercial, we got no commercial. No, but seriously.
Seriously.
By the way.
Yes.
You can you'll back me up on this. You can notice the women from a mile away. You don't need to be a Harvard graduate to notice women who are looking to solicit themselves.
To get dentistry done.
To get dentistry done.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, I understand.
So you guys, you have a better way of saying it.
I understand.
So in closing, why should, somebody, and I got to tell you, this field is becoming more and more competitive, like any field. Would you concur?
Absolutely.
So then why would somebody, I know you're often referred, people refer to you all the time, lots of dentists, and you've become, I would say in the upper echelon of your field.
Sure.
And that's the reason we have you here. But what separates, and I know this is a question that's going to call upon a little bit of arrogance on your part, I don't know if you can muster it. What separates you from every other periodontist?
Well, first of all,
And really, lay it on the line for me here.
well, what separates me from a periodontist is I'm a prosthodontist.
Okay.
That's the first thing that separates me. But if we get beyond,
Yeah,
that,
and what separates me from the average talk show host is I don't do my homework. So
that's okay. So we're
even.
okay.
We're on the same
we're
page.
good. Yes,
We're on the same
absolutely.
page.
No, we're really good.
We're on the same page.
We're really good.
I'm gonna do that question again. Okay.
No,
I want to get that. It was
well, if you
funny.
like-
It was funny, but just I want to make sure I get that.
Sure, absolutely.
What did I say?
I don't know, something about what separates me from other prosthodontists or something like that.
No, well, I said about no.
You said periodontist. You
Oh,
said gum specialist.
Okay.
That's a good one. But it's okay.
I don't think I'm
it's
the first
okay.
person to
You're
do
not the
that.
first person. Not at all.
Okay.
No, prosthodontist doesn't roll off the tongue very easily.
It's
a tough one.
It's tough. But I want to get that question because seriously, I think we should end there.
Okay, so let's do
do it again. So Isaac, this has been a lot of fun. I have a great closing question for you.
Sure.
And it's going to call upon you to be really, really self-effacing, super candid, a little bit arrogant. I'm not sure if you can muster that, but I'm looking into your eyes, and I think you might stand a chance.
I can do it.
This field is proliferating very quickly. It's very lucrative, and the competition is heavy. What separates you from your peers? In other words, why should they come to you as a prosthodontist?
I think patients need to understand that they owe it to themselves to get specialty care if they need it.
Right.
And I think it's really important for you to sit back and ask yourself, do you want to be treated by a specialist, or are you comfortable being treated by whoever is treating you at this time?
But there's thousands of specialists, so I'm asking
Yes, there
you,
are.
what is in your,
What
what
is
is
in-
different
what do
about
we
you?
have?
What is your craft?
Sure.
What's different about your craftsmanship? Ultimately, you're a craftsman.
At the end of the day, we are mechanical engineers. We are carpenters with really small tools.
Exactly. So I'm asking you, why should they come in to experience your carpentry
As opposed to
as
someone
opposed to the
else's.
one across the road?
Well, the environment that we provide our patients is something that is really quite unique.
Well, what about you? That's what I'm asking.
But I'm part of that environment.
Yeah,
You have to
see, that's what
understand.
I'm trying. I keep pushing to try to get
I
to you,
understand.
and you're
I am a specialist in what I do, and it is something that I love to do. You need to see someone who doesn't just wake up in the morning and go to work. You need to see someone who lives it, who dreams it, who wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, I'm ready to go to work, except I'm not there because my staff won't show up. You need someone
Let me get this straight.
You need someone who's...
Let me get this straight.
Oh, I'm up at all hours.
You're getting up at 2 a.m., having a piece of cheesecake, and thinking, how am I going to restructure Mrs. Fisher's mouth?
That doesn't, you know what, that happens. That does happen, absolutely. Sure.
Well, that means you are the best, because, you know, I'll tell you, you know, a secret. That the secret is that I left my cell phone on. And I'm not sure if we're picking up that, but are we picking up the cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
That's right.
Yeah, what kind of cell phone do you have, by the way?
A Samsung.
Samsung? Wow, I think you can afford to go for the iPhone 7. What's wrong?
No, iPhones suck.
Yeah, because that's not, it's, you know, I could...
Samsung, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Yeah, I just got upset when BlackBerry wouldn't give me the phones I wanted, so I went over to Samsung. When Samsung stops giving me what I want, then I'll move over to something else.
Yeah.
They're all the same. Go ahead.
So Isaac, what you know, you make me think of something here. I had the good fortune of interviewing Eddie Greenspan, the famous criminal lawyer, many years ago, and he said exactly what you just said. It's very interesting, and I'm sure you've read some articles about him. Unfortunately, he passed away recently,
yes.
but phenomenal. He was the very best at what he did, and he was because, like what you just said, he really didn't sleep, and he didn't. His wife even said, like, 3 or 4 hours at best, because he gave his heart and soul to what he did.
Sure.
And it sounds to me like you're kind of expressing a similar sentiment in the sense that, and you know, you can see that, and no offense, but I mean, you put in your hours, you put in a few hours over the years, and that and that kind of dedication makes the difference. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have a passion for it. The people that I work with have a passion for it. And between all the passion that we have in the office, the dental passion, you can't get better than what we produce. And that's really the best way to put it.
That's the best way to put it.
That's the best way to put it. We have a passion for what we do, and everybody within our practice, all 30 of them, have a passion for what they do. If they don't have the passion, they are not there.
They're not there.
Not there for long. Not there for long.
Not there for long.
Everyone has the passion.
The passion. I concur 100%. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on Jexperts. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And if there's anything the viewers need to know now is what? Do you have a website?
We do. We have a website.
Yeah.
Our website is www.buildyoursmile.com.
Okay.
We focus a lot on smiles, obviously, so that's how we came up with that name.
Yeah.
And the website really is inclusive. Anyone can go there and see what we're about and contact us through the website.
Awesome. Great fun to meet you.
Nice
I wish
to meet you,
you know, continued success, health, and happiness.
And Eden, don't worry about that filling, okay? You're just fine.
I'll worry regardless. That's what I do. I worry. I got the neurotic Jewish, and you didn't get the neurotic Jewish gene. You got the brilliant carpenter gene, and could be a lot worse. Thank you, Isaac. Thanks everybody for watching Jexperts. We again live downtown Toronto, and we're interviewing the greatest experts in the Jewish world. Always. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Jexperts. Take care. Thanks, everybody.